The new Premier League scene is about to commence on the 12th of September. The 2021 season could be the craziest in football history. Chelsea are treating this transfer window like FIFA career mode. Man City nearly signed Messi. But more importantly, where are the teams going to finish in the new Premier League season? This might be the most difficult yet. So let's begin. First things to bear in mind, here is the table on your screen. Obviously, there are 20 teams in the Premier League, so 1 to 20. By the end of the video, you see the table fully stacked out, and I will predict everything. The relegated teams, the mid-table team, the top 6, the Premier League champions. There will be a point system though when I react to this Premier League prediction in about a year's time. For every placement that I get correct, that's 3 points. If I predict a team to finish 18th and they still get relegated, that's a point as well. And then also top 4, same rules apply. So who is going to be the 20th finish team? Well, if you're a Fulham fan, you might not want to watch this bit. I've gone for Fulham as the 20th team in the Premier League this upcoming season. They finished 4th in the Championship last season. However, obviously due to the playoffs, they beat Brentford, their rival in London, and now they're a Premier League team. And I don't think they'll be a Premier League team for too long. They brought in Anthony Knockaert, who, if you guys don't remember, he was involved in one of the craziest endings to any football game when Troy Deeney went down the other end and scored after he missed a penalty against Almunia. That day was unbelievable. They've also bought a guy called Anthony Robertson from Wigan for $2 million, and that's it. I don't think Fulham are going to last, guys. I can't see it. Don't mind Fulham at all. Always seemed like a nice club, haven't they? So, yeah. 20th, though, is my prediction. I'm going to watch this in a year's time and be like, oh my God, my hair has just gone crazy. In 19th position, I've gone for Brighton. Brighton actually finished in the Premier League table last season with 41 points in the 15th position. But for me, they haven't strengthened enough. They have brought in Adam Lallana, which is a nice solid transfer and a free transfer from Michael Liverpool. But I don't believe their squad depth is going to last this season. And I just have that good feeling that Brighton will be relegated. I don't like saying teams are going to be relegated, but this is a brutal video. Be ready. In the 18th position will be a football club that I always thought back in the day, like 10 years ago, maybe even less than that, they were always quite a solid, at times, tough team to beat. They've always had some okay players. Remember when Rondon was there at West Brom? He was pretty good. Chris Brunt was a really nice player for West Brom throughout his whole career. They've had some decent players in the past. I think we forget that Romelu Lukaku was at West Brom at one point. Peter Odemwingie as well. Like, some of the players they've had have, in their, I guess, prime, been pretty good. Jonathan Greening, remember him as well? Guys, this is turning into a random video about West Brom. Let's move on. West Brom, in my opinion, again, I've got that good feeling and I've got to go with it. I just think they need to strengthen more in their team. If they do, they might survive. But as it's looking right now, they've signed 4 players, one including Matheus Pereira. I think they need more forward players. And overall, I think it's squad depth for me. I think Brighton and West Brom, similar position right now. I think they need to bring in more players. And hopefully they can make some smart signings. Maybe get some more Premier League experience in their team as well. But I'll go for West Brom at the 18th spot. Now on to a club who West Brom fans won't like me putting them ahead of them in the Premier League. It's Aston Villa. They only just survived on the final day of last season, and they've somehow managed to keep hold of Jack Grealish. Now, if they do lose Jack Grealish, they might finish 18th, in my opinion. He is obviously their best player. Do I think he's good enough to play for Man United or maybe Spurs? Maybe more so Spurs? I'm not sure. Do you guys see Jack Grealish slotting into a starting 11 for a top 6 team? Let me know. I'm not sure. I think the kind of team that I would see him at, well, you know what? I'll shut up because I'm going to do predictions, but I'm not sure if he'll start for Spurs if he went there. But if they do keep hold of him, there's a chance they can survive. However, after spending, I think it was like 115 million in the last transfer window at Villa, they did not have a good season. They survived in the Premier League, and to Roy Keane's hilarity, he did not find it funny, the players celebrating their survival in the Premier League. But fair play, they did well at the end to somehow stay in the league. But spending £60 million on Matty Cash and also getting in Ben Chrisen there from Exeter isn't really, in my opinion, what they should be doing. They should be trying to get those solid free transfers if they can. Getting a good striker is what Villa need. My God. They need to really go and buy a striker. The really weird thing about this upcoming Premier League season is that the transfer window does end on October 5th, which is obviously nearly a month after this season starts. So maybe Villa can go and buy a striker before then. That will be brilliant for them. But but I'm going to stick with my 17th prediction for Aston Villa. The early they bring in signings, guys, the better their team will be. At 16th spot is a team that I regularly do predict around this position, and it's going to be Crystal Palace. A team that I think we can all say we kind of maybe like. Is that the phrase? I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. You know where you got that kind of team that no one really dislikes? Not like, who dislikes Crystal Palace? Maybe rival London teams, I guess, but I know we didn't like them for coming back from a 3-0 deficit when Luis Suarez was crying at the end of the game. So there's that for a reason for me and other Liverpool fans. But in terms of like disliking them, I think they're quite a likeable club, aren't they? But I don't know why I'm talking about that. I'm going to say that Crystal Palace are going to finish 16th. Yes, they've still got Zaha, but I just think they're that kind of team that seems to settle for, between 10th and maybe 17th. They're okay with that. That's a good thing for Crystal Palace. They've got very good home fans, so fair play Crystal Palace fans. You have a very good set of fans. But they did get easy from QPR, who I believe got a team this season, and also got Nathan Ferguson from West Brom, which, to be honest, their squad is good enough to survive in the Premier League. I think we all know that. But if they want to go, to 10th, then they need to really probably build a team around Zaha more, and maybe bring in more midfielders, bring in more quality players. At 15th position is my good man Spencer FC's team and Seb's team, his brother, who they won't like me putting West Ham here at all. I know they won't. But 15th position is what I'm going for West Ham. West Ham are a team that obviously moved to a stadium that I went to Liverpool last season when we beat them. Was it like 3-1 or maybe 4-2 or something? And I've always, had nothing against West Ham at all. But again, got to be brutal in this video. I don't think they've strengthened enough to really go into the top 10 in my opinion. I believe they made the transfer permanent of one of their midfielders. They did get Thomas Souček. I was correct. I thought I saw that on Sky Sports News. Slavia Prague, £50 million. But that's it so far. They got rid of Ajeti there, Scully to Lincoln. Not really done much in the transfer window, which West Ham fans can't be that thrilled about. They did finish 16th last season, and probably in a big way thanks to Antonio being unbelievable. That guy scored 6 goals in 4 games. He's also a big FIFA fan, for those who don't know. And I think he watches YouTubers on FIFA. I'm very intrigued to see what happened with Haller, who I believe they signed for like £45 million. Will he stay? Will he go? And if they did sell him, would they get even half of that fee after scoring, was it like 3 goals or something mad in the season? So they've got Antonio, build a team around him, get more players around him. Can they keep hold of Rice? Will he go to Chelsea? It's going to be a very intriguing season for West Ham. Quick side note, when I did go to the Liverpool game against West Ham, which was actually 2-0, got that score completely wrong. Firstly, the stadium is lovely. I really think it's great. However, it's probably not a football kind of stadium because when you're there, I think I was like 12 rows back, and you're really far from the actual pitch. And especially for West Ham fans, they're passionate fans and they're far back from the pitch. Upton Park have been to like 5 times to see Liverpool play away at their old stadium. And I actually really like that stadium. I thought the atmosphere was always banging. But it is devoid of atmosphere, I noticed, even with like 60,000 seats. West Ham, in my opinion, fans deserve better. Hopefully they can, move the seats closer to the pitch. But yeah, I think 15th is a decent prediction for West Ham. I'm calling it. I'm actually confident with West Ham finishing 15th. Now moving on to a club that this might surprise you because I've said that Crystal Palace, West Ham are going to finish below this club. That club is Newcastle United. Now, if their takeover was to be completed by the consortium that was, agreed in principle to take over the club, then we probably would have been having a different conversation. Probably would have said they might be top 10 if they obviously bought players in fast Newcastle. But yet again, Newcastle fans been massively let down. The Prem League's handling of it wasn't great. To really drag it out when they could have sorted it really fast wasn't good at all for anyone close to Newcastle. The fans absolutely detest Mike Ashley. Got a few good friends, Newcastle fans, and they all say, they just can't stand the guy. Just cares about making profit, doesn't really care about the passionate fans, doesn't really care about the players in the club as much as he should do. And in terms of how they do, I don't think as long as Newcastle in the Premier League, then he's happy. He doesn't really want to push them forward, is what they say all the time. Like West Ham, Newcastle fans deserve a lot better. 100%. Their stadium, by the way, has one of the best views from the away end. Good God, what a lovely stadium St James's Park is. But if they get a new owner who, is a bit like having a financial takeover in FIFA, then they might become a top 10 club. There was talk of somehow signing Mbappe. I don't think that would have happened even if they had all the money, but still, it would have been fascinating, guys, if Newcastle had that takeover, wouldn't it? I'm going to go, though, for 14th. They did finish 13th, which I think people might forget. Like, West Ham, Crystal Palace, Everton finished one place above them last season. It wasn't the worst season for Newcastle. They were, I believe, 10 points off relegation. So it was actually an okay season. All things considered, Joe Linton was £40 million, maybe 36 million, sorry. And the guy scored was it 1 goal? And they still finished 13th. That was actually a bit of a miracle season for Newcastle. I think we all thought that, Rafa leaving and Steve Bruce coming in would be worse, but Steve Bruce, I think, surprised people, kept them up. But Newcastle have only got in Jeff Hendrick, and that's all they've done so far. But again, it could change. I wouldn't be surprised if they get 4 or 5 new players, maybe a striker as well. They need one. But I'm going to go for a solid, 14th for Newcastle. Our 13th position is a prediction that they might surpass my current prediction for the new 2021 season in the Premier League. I'm going to go for Southampton. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they continue the form they had from last season at the end, where Danny Ings became absolutely brilliant. Danny Ings was on fire, wasn't he, for pretty much the whole season. I wouldn't be surprised if they finished 10th. However, I've got a gut feeling, and I think there might be other teams that do surprise us as well, which you're going to see very shortly. I think I'll stick with 13th. For Southampton. I think they'll do it. And then hopefully for Saints fans, they can build on that 13th position and go up into the top 10 again for the next season. I think they'll be happy. Well, will they be happy? They're probably thrilled with 9th position. I think they'll be thrilled with that. But I'll go for 13th for Southampton. By the way, speaking of Southampton, guys, I did like the signing of Kyle Walker-Peters from Spurs for £12 million. So that's actually probably improvement maybe over Cedric. I'm not sure. We'll see on that. We'll see. Now on to maybe the boldest prediction so far for the bottom half of the Premier League table. And you've got to think, if Leeds get into this position, that is superb for a first season. If you're a Leeds fan, comment down below where you think your team will finish in the upcoming Premier League season. And what would you be happy with if you're a Leeds fan? Just surviving even maybe 16th position? Or would you be thrilled with the 12th position that I've predicted your team will finish in? Reason being is, I think Bielsa is a genius of a manager, has reignited your football club in an absolutely unbelievable way. Is just the research this guy does for each team and players he comes up against. He must make the opposing managers think, you know what? When you play Aston Villa, maybe even Fulham, obviously preparation's got to be unbelievable. But when you play someone like Leeds, who have a manager like Bielsa, who might have a guy, who might have a few guys with binoculars next to their training grounds, you've got to be ready for Leeds, right? Had to get the Spygate joke in there, didn't I? Bet Frank Lampard was loving this video. But yeah, for me, I'm going to go Leeds 12. I like the signings they've made. They've been very active early on, which is a good sign. I like the signing of Rodrigo from Valencia. Leeds have brought in Rodrigo there for £27 million. Koch there from Freiburg. Jack Harrison on loan, which is a nice little signing. Helder Costa for £16 million from Wolves. They've bought well, it seems like, at this early stage. And they've not got rid of any players yet, which obviously is probably going to change with, 8 players, maybe 9 there coming into the club. I think with their manager, I think they're going to surprise people this year. Probably in a bit of a similar fashion, but obviously different play style to Sheffield United, how they performed last season. I think Leeds guys are going to do well, and I'll go for 12th for Leeds. Our 11th spot is a fellow Yorkshire team, and I'm going to be going for Sheffield United. Got some very good friends in life who are big Blades fans, and I think they'll be thrilled with this prediction ahead of Leeds. Can you imagine, guys, if Sheffield Wednesday get back to the Premier League and Sheffield United is still there, Leeds are there, and wouldn't it be a bit mad to have so many teams from Merseyside, London, Yorkshire? It will be actually pretty crazy. But for now, Sheffield United guys, I think they'll do well again in the new season. They did lose, obviously, Dean Henderson going back to Man United, and he might start for United, you never know. So obviously that's a big loss. He was one of their players of the season, in my opinion. And I think they'll be hard to beat again. Any trip away to Bramall Lane is very difficult. We found it hard to beat them last season when actually we got lucky thanks to Dean Henderson. So cheers, Dean, for that one. But I think they'll have another good season, and I'm going to go for 11th for the Blade. We move on to the top half of the Premier League, and in the 10th spot, I'm going to go for a team that, I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm not very confident of finishing 10th, because they can either maybe go to 13th, 14th, or they could even go to 8th or 7th. I just don't know with this team. We're going to go with Burnley. Can they keep this streak going of just obviously easily surviving the Premier League, challenging for European positions, constantly surprising us? Because I think they're the kind of team that a lot of people on YouTube and in general in life might predict they'll finish like 15th, but they continuously surprise us. And we've got to say all the time, haven't we? Fair play to Burnley. They've been brilliant since they've come back to the Premier League. And I'm going to say 10th for Burnley. Have they done well in the transfer window? Well, they haven't been that active in general. They bought in Will Norris there from Wolves. They got rid of Joe Hart, who's released, now gone to Spurs. Aaron Lennon, remember him, guys? He has gone to, he's been released actually. And Jeff Hendrick, who has gone to Newcastle, I believe. So they've not been that active, but a lot like Sheffield United, no one likes going to their away trip to play at Turf Moor. It's a very tough place to get a win. One of the hardest stadiums, I think, for any Premier League team to win at. It really is. Sometimes you might be surprised, like I know last season we won at Burnley. Yeah, we won 3-0 Turf Moor last season, which is a superb result at that stadium. I think Burnley will be fine though. There's not much more to say about Burnley. A bit similar to Sheffield United. I just think they're a solid team. And I think they'll be, again, a team that just is very happy with 10th. I mean, that is unbelievable for a team with obviously less transfer funds and, very hard to beat. I think Burnley will be fine in the new Premier League season. On to the 9th position. Now, this is another bold prediction, guys. I believe Leicester will actually have a bit of a drop-off season. I think they're going to be finishing 9th in the new season. And I've got to say, they did not have a good end to the season. They really did throw away the top 4 Champions League football, which is massive for any team. They were 4 points off Chelsea in the end. And if Leicester won their last 2 games, they would have been in the Champions League, which obviously would have been superb for their club. And fair play, they finished ahead of teams like Tottenham, obviously Arsenal there. So they did great last season overall, but only signing one player who was actually 21.5 million from Atalanta, Timothy Castagne there. I think they need to strengthen more. Obviously, players like Vardy have still got it. However, he is getting older. They have got a solid team. 9th would be good in my opinion for Leicester. But if they do sign, some better maybe midfielders, they do need now a left back as well. But Ben Chilwell's gone, which is a big loss to them. He was very, very good for them. I think 9th is an okay prediction. I'm not going to lie. I think I'm okay with that one. Now on to the 8th placed Premier League team in my 20 and 21 prediction video today is going to be Wolves. Now, it has been one of the most difficult positions to predict because it can honestly go so many different ways. However, their team is quality. Incredibly difficult team to beat, no matter where they play, home or away. Adama Traore's quality. I think he's great, actually. I would not mind us going for him, guys, Liverpool, honestly. He is brilliant. They've got Jimenez, banging in the goals. They've just signed, I believe, their biggest ever transfer player from Porto, I believe. Yeah, they've signed Fabio Silva from Porto for £35 million. So they've gone out for it. They've got a fantastic manager at the helm, and honestly, I believe that they'll do well again this season against the big teams. They always seem to. But I'm going to go for 8th. Now, you're probably wondering, well, who's going to finish above them? Now, this is why I am not confident about this prediction with Wolves finishing 8th. They could honestly even challenge top 4. But I'm going to go for Everton at 7. Now, I think last season I predicted they'd finish like 9th. So that's 2 spots above. I actually went with 8th for Everton last season. So it's a bit of a switch up. But obviously they've just agreed to sign Allen, who's now an Everton player. They've seemed to be building a quality team. We cannot forget, Carlo Ancelotti is one of the best Prem League managers I've seen in the league in terms of probably, what do you say, guys, reckon like top 10, maybe even top 6 managers in our league. I think he's a wonderful manager who obviously knows how to win a Prem League, for God's sake. The guy was superb at Chelsea. And, winning Champions League titles, Serie A titles, AC Milan. He is one of the best and most highly regarded managers. We cannot forget that. He is now building his team. They're about to, I believe, sign James Rodriguez, unless he's already signed. They've kept hold of Richarlison at striker position. They're going to build on their team from last season. I think they'll actually surprise us, guys. I think Everton are going to finish 7th. Now on to the 6th position in the Premier League table. And I believe that, honestly, guys, from the 4th spot till about the 9th spot, it could really go so many different ways. Obviously, it all depends on which players unfortunately get injured this season. Harry Kane had his issue last season, which might surprise you guys about my prediction now. And I've gone for Spurs in the 6th spot, which is difficult to say because it's just honestly so difficult to predict these positions right now. The number 6 spot might be the most difficult one to predict. I've gone for Spurs, as I know Mourinho has had the off-season to work on more, obviously, tactics, new season, which players he wants to get. He signed Doty from Wolves, which is a good signing, former Arsenal fan himself. Mourinho has really been hilarious to watch on Spurs All or Nothing, which, by the way, I'm streaming on Twitch, literally the documentary on the day it comes out. So make sure if you have Amazon Prime to come to my Twitch stream, which is linked down below on the on this video somewhere right now. Should be on there. Twitch.tv/MattHDGamer, and we can watch it together, guys, if you want. So yeah, going to watch 3 episodes in a row. Anyway, back to my prediction. I think Spurs will finish 6th. I think it's just one of those feelings I've got. I just feel like they'll finish 6th. Usually I back it up with facts, but I just think they'll finish 6th. I can't lie. I just think they will. They got Joe Hart on a free as well, and also Højbjerg there from Southampton, which is actually a very nice signing. Now, will they keep Ndombele? They've lost the Tongan. Wanyama went on a free transfer quite a while ago. Troy Parrott, who I believe I did pronounce his name wrong a few months ago in an Ultimate Team video, he is gone, which isn't, I guess, a massive effect their Prem League season. But either way, I think they'll finish 6th, and they won't be the highest ranked North London club in the Premier League. Because that, in my opinion, belongs to Arsenal in the 5th spot. As you guys can see in the Premier League table, I'm going to go for Arsenal in 5th spot, guys. Which again, very difficult, like 6th position, right? They've bought pretty well. They've seen which positions they need to obviously, strengthen in. And that had to be defense, had to be midfield, had to just be more attacking backup. Obviously, they signed Willian from Chelsea, which is a very nice sign in my opinion, guys, even later on in his career. They've signed Saliba, the centre-back, who I think could be very good for them, in my opinion. Will I be wrong about that? I might be. But guys, I've got to be honest and be brutal with these predictions. They've got Cabellos back on loan there. Cedric, which is a good right back there for them. Pablo Mari, which I think might be a very good addition to their team. So, didn't realise, guys, Saliba's transfer fee was £27 million. So, for Arsenal fans, he better be good. I think Arteta now is starting to look promising as a new manager for them, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does get them in the top 5. They did beat us as well in the Community Shield. They did look pretty good. They've kept hold of the Aubameyang, which is massive for them. Although I don't think that's been confirmed yet. I might be wrong on that one, but it's looking like he might stay. They haven't really lost anyone major in the transfer window, so it's looking like a decent transfer window for Arsenal. We've said for years that they need new centre-backs. They need a more solid midfield. And if they can, I think if they strengthen and get someone along the lines of Partey from Atletico Madrid or Carvalho from Real Betis, something like that, I think they could challenge for top 4 as well. But I'm going to say 5th for Arsenal. Now on to a team that I think we can all agree, if you're not a, Man United fan, you probably hate their club. Whenever I get a Man United player on FIFA, they tend to be discarded unless they're like 90 rating. But I've got to be honest, their transfer window has been, now pretty good. If they sign Sancho, which has been going on for the longest time, I know Mark Goldbridge is very keen to sign him, then they might finish higher in my prediction if they do sign Sancho. However, as of now, I'm going to say, guys, that Manchester United will finish 4th, which, I mean, if you're a United fan, would you guys take that, or do you think the time is now? In my opinion, the time is not now for the Premier League challenge for them. I think they're still off, at least. Jeremy Carragher summed up really well. If you want to win the Premier League in this day and age, I think you've got to have at least, 80 points now. Back in the day, Man United would win the Premier League with, 80 points or 79 points. Chelsea would as well. But now, with obviously mighty Liverpool, Man City scoring so many goals, winning so many games in a row, 85 plus is kind of what you need to win the Premier League. Do I see the Man United getting 85 points above? I don't, in my opinion. I might be wrong. In a year's time, I hope to God I'm not wrong. But I'm going to go for United 4th. I still think they need a better centre-back next to Maguire. Maguire himself, in my opinion, probably should have been bought for about 45 million, not the 80 million fee as well. But if they just improve their defence, and if they maybe got like a superb central defensive midfielder to help out, obviously, with Pogba, Fernandes, Van der Beek, I can't deny it. Their 3 midfielders are looking great. Pogba on his day can be world class. Bruno Fernandes, in my opinion, is probably one of their best players. I think he's sensational. That's coming from a Liverpool fan, guys. Yeah, you heard that. Van der Beek looks like he could be a brilliant signing for that price as well. of like 40 million. I've got to say it. Fair play to Man United on signing Van der Beek. I think he'd be very good. But with all that considered, I still think they'll finish 4th. Now, if they did sign Sancho, I might be saying they'll finish 3rd. But for now, I'm going to say 4th. Moving on though, guys, to the 3rd position in the Premier League prediction is going to be Chelsea. Now, this might be controversial because I know you look at their transfer window, guys, they've signed incredibly well. Timo Werner, Havertz, Ziyech, Chilwell, they're making me doubt my current prediction. I still think they need someone better alongside Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva they've signed as well, Jesus. But he is obviously, 35? He's probably not got many years left at the top of his game. However, with that experience in Champions League, reaching finals a lot, I think he'll be a very nice signing for them. He's the kind of player that will probably improve the defense and the team itself. So that's a good signing for them. Chilwell's quality. Intrigued to see what happens with Marcos Alonso now as well in their team. I still think, though, if they got like if Chelsea signed someone like Koulibaly, they'd be challenging for the title, in my opinion. I think they're that close, honestly. And their bench as well is stacked. You look at their quality, potential bench players for the new season. It's going to be interesting to see if the likes of Mason Mount is on the bench. Will he play a lot with these new signings? Same can be said for Tammy Abraham, who had a good season with Chelsea last season. Their squad's looking great. I can't lie, it is. They also signed Sarr from Nice on a free transfer as well. I believe he's going out on loan though, I think. They did lose Pedro and obviously Willian to Arsenal, but I mean, to sign Havertz, Timo Werner, Ziyech, Thiago Silva, Chilwell, they are going for a title challenge. I think they will challenge for the title. Wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea really challenge for the title. They're the kind of team, in my opinion, that will probably get near enough 80 points at least. And yeah, I think they'll have a very, very good season. If Chelsea don't get top 4, considering they did get top 4 without these players last season, I'll be insanely surprised. So I'm going to go for 3rd for Chelsea. So who is going to finish 2nd in my massive Prem League prediction video today? Well, I'm going to go for, drumroll please, going to go for Man City. I've said it. I've never ever predicted that we will win a Premier League season on these Premier League predictions. You guys know me. I'm very unbiased. Am I about to predict we will win the Premier League? Yes, for the first time. However, I think if Man City had signed Lionel Messi, I probably would have said they might win the league. I'm going to say might. It's a strong might. They did not sign him. They have obviously kept hold of, Aguero's probably going to retire there maybe, or maybe move on later on. But Aguero, still world class. He'll score at least 20 goals. Kevin De Bruyne, probably the best player in the Premier League in my opinion. The team is great. However, defensively, I still think they need to sign the likes of Koulibaly, who is in talks, I believe, with them. So that's going to be a big, massive transfer if they sign him. Kyle Walker was very good for City last season. Cancelo is, coming through, starting, I think, 16 games last season, but I think he's going to do more this season. They have got, obviously, they've got a very good team, brilliant team on the day. They should have done better in the Champions League, though. I'm still baffled as to how they didn't beat Lyon. But, for me, City finished 2nd, guys, in my Premier League prediction. Obviously, could they win the Premier League this season? Yeah, they could. I'm saying that openly, guys. They definitely could. They've got the experience, they've got the players, they have the manager. But I'm going to go for it, guys. Man City to finish 2nd. They did lose Leroy Sané to Bayern. They did bring in, though, RK from Bournemouth for 41 million and Ferran Torres, who might be a very good transfer for them. So if they can keep everyone fit, and although they have lost, even more very experienced players, David Silva, who in my opinion was wonderful for them and was a world-class midfielder in his own right. They've obviously lost company now, David Silva. They've lost some leadership in that dressing room again. But I just think 2nd for City. Now on to my team, Liverpool, who I've gone for back-to-back Premier League champions. I've gone for it, guys. Liverpool to win the 2021 Premier League season. I've gone for it. I can't wait to hopefully see that happen. We won the Premier League for the first time this season. Hopefully by this time next year, we're lifting the Premier League trophy and, I'm there in the crowd, probably in the main stand because that's where my normal ticket is. High up in the main stand, by the way. It's really high up, but it's amazing to be there. I would go crazy, even more crazy if obviously we could win the Premier League again at Anfield and when the fans are there. With the lockdown and everything that's happened this season, it's been one of the most bizarre seasons, but God, it would be madness it will be a madness. Just realise, we're probably going to be having our trophy presentation in Liverpool City Centre and around Liverpool when the new season's underway. That's mad, isn't it? Anyway, I've gone for Liverpool as winning the Prem League again, because obviously we're still at our peak. We have brought in the likes of Shishmikas. Have I said that right? I'm sorry if you're Greek. I've honestly ruined that guy's surname. But Greece is a lovely country. Went to Kefalonia a few years ago, man, with friends. It was absolutely lovely. Love that place and area. What a place Kefalonia is. Anyway, good left back he's looking like. I think we do need to sign Thiago, which will be massive, by the way. We might be losing Wijnaldum to Barca. However, I think we're probably getting in a better midfielder overall in Thiago. I know he's 29, but still, I think he could be superb for us and is the kind of player that we need. I still think we need to strengthen in the striker position as well, in case Bobby gets injured. I like Origi, but I don't think he's the most consistent of players in the league itself. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get someone else. But Minamino's looking good in pre-season, to be fair. We have got players coming through who haven't really played as much as we'd have liked the last few seasons. Obviously, Naby Keita probably was our best player in the last stage of the season, in my opinion. He is like a new player. He really has played well. Hopefully, Minamino can be that super sub. Salah, Mane, still in their prime. Obviously, Virgil, still in his prime. I think we're going to do it again. And I know people might say, yeah, we lost the Community Shield. Well, we lost that last year, I believe. We didn't play well in last year's preseason. I think we're going to win it again. I think it's one of those years where we don't need to buy many players in again because a lot of our team is still at their peak. Now, obviously, I mean, Jesus, hopefully all of our players can stay fit. However, that never happens. Hopefully we can, keep all of our squad, keep it going all year. But I think for me, it's one of the last seasons where we don't need to strengthen properly, like bring in 4 or 5 new players like Chelsea did. I think we're going to win it again because we're at our prime still. And I think hopefully we can win a treble. That would be amazing. Will I be wrong on that? Maybe. But guys, bold predictions. I'm going for Liverpool as the Premier League champions for the 2021 season. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Comment down below with your exact prediction for your Premier League table in the 2021 season. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more content like this. I really want to do more football videos, so it'd be amazing to do that for you guys. And maybe let me know what kind of ideas you want me to do. I really want to do more kind of football, maybe lifestyle stuff. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. It's been very fun to film. As you can probably tell, have a lovely day and special day wherever you're from in the world. And what's your Premier League prediction?